what he suggested. Leland suggested us starting at chapter 9, verse 20 about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I want to start back just a little bit above that. Let's see, the last time we met, which has been a while, we have the flood, and Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and their wives, and then all the various animals have been in the ark, and then the ark, the rain quits, and the ark finally lands, and they get out. And the world is cleansed of sin, because it says before that said that man's thoughts were evil continually, and it repented God that he made man. And so he cleansed the world with a flood. And then we want to back up to, let me find the right verse. Verse 12, chapter 9, verse 12. God said, "This is a sign of the covenant which I am making between me and you and every living creature that is with you for all successive generations. I set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a sign of a covenant between me and the earth. It shall come about, and when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow will be seen in the cloud, and I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you, and every living creature of all flesh, and never again shall the water become a flood to destroy all flesh." So God put a bow in the sky. And if you see it doesn't come about with every rainstorm, but if you see a rainbow in the sky, most of the time, it's not 100%. The rain in your area for that day is probably over with. And sometimes you can even see 2, and they're beautiful. But it's the sign that God said He would put him in remembrance. That he agreed not to ever flood the whole world again and kill everybody. What has the world done with God's sign? It's an abomination, isn't it? Rainbow coalitions, pride months, and you name it, we got it. But, pride flag, okay. The rainbow on it. It took something that was precious to God as a sign that God used, and it turned it into an abomination. Even the word pride, the scriptures talks about us being prideful, doesn't it? We're to be humble. They use the word pride. Now, we're going to get to the Leland's verse. Chapter 9, verse 20. Then Noah began farming and planted a vineyard. He drank of the wine, became drunk, and uncovered himself in his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his 2 brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it on their shoulders and walked backward and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were turned away so they did not see their father's nakedness. When Noah awoke from his wine, he knew that what his youngest son had done to him, so he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants, he shall be to his brothers." He also said, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant, and may God enlarge Japheth. Let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Canaan be his servant." And it goes on to tell how long Noah lived. Now, Leland, what is your question about this?
It doesn't say anything about God telling Noah to take seeds on the ark to plant.
Okay?
I'm wondering where he got his material
a good question. Of course, it's my understanding that grapes, you can get new vine, you can cut off shoots off of an old vine and stick in, and that's how you're a professional horticulturist or whatever. That you should know, you know more about that than I do. Because the question is, there's a guy on RFD that he asked people, how do you get what do you plant to get seedless grapes? Because they don't have any seeds in them. But you plant a stem off of another tree, another bush. But I never had thought about where the seeds came from. They took everything else. They took, and for that matter, where did all the seeds from everything else come from? Because of all the different varieties of grain and grass and trees and what have you. Well, the trees would have probably come back from their roots after it finally quit, the rain left.
Probably floated around and settled with it too.
Could have.
Birds are carrying seeds more than that.
Birds carry seed, but where did the birds get them?
Well, they ate them before they got on there.
Okay.
You probably looked at grain-fed feeds animals.
Well, that's true.
Most of those plants would have grounded out
Yes.
during that time frame.
But if there were any seeds on the, seeds last for, they say if they're kept in the right conditions, they last thousands of years. They found seeds in those tombs, the Egyptian pyramids, and planted them, and stuff come up. They've been kept in.
I just found it interesting that it doesn't record that Noah took stuff to repopulate agriculture wise.
You're right.
But as far as the vineyard goes, the two easiest plants to grow is grapes and figs.
Okay.
And that's why the Israelis always carried those. They carried those up out of Egypt, and they just stick them in the ground and get them to start growing.
Okay. Now, I guess it's still there. At one time, Colorado State University was the place to keep seeds. And they tried to keep seeds of everything in the world, so that if a great disaster happened somewhere, then they would have something to start with all over again. Is that still right, or are you?
Yeah, National Seed Laboratory.
Yeah, National Seed Laboratory.
I think there's a seed blocker, they call it in Iceland or Switzerland, I think. Cold storage, that have all the
Okay.
grains and seeds and all the things on there.
Okay. But see, that's a whole different question than what I thought you was going to ask. Here is my question. Noah plants grapes, he makes wine, he gets drunk and naked. But yet he puts a curse on his son. And Noah's the one that done all the evilness as far as what we're. Somebody help me figure this out. Because he told? I think it leaves something out. I think he made fun of his. Yeah, look at the old man. He got there and got drunk, and he's passed out. But the other sons still respected their father, and they put the blanket on their shoulders and just back to him and covered him up. But
Since they backed in to cover them up, there had to be some rule.
evidently there was a rule. Yeah.
That you're not supposed to see your parents or whatever uncovered.
Well, Ham probably didn't live to see his father uncovered.
Do what now?
He might not have lived to see his father uncovered, he just stumbled on,
It doesn't really say, but he goes and tells her. He goes on and tells the other two, "Hey, the old man's in there. He's passed out and he's naked." That's the way I'm. It doesn't say all that, but that's the way I'm That's the way I would take it, you know, that,
It says he did tell,
do I?
it says he did tell his brothers.
Yeah, he did tell his brothers. Yes.
Talking about what James said about the birds in this, in Genesis 7:3, it says, of the birds also of the heavens, 7 and 7, male and female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth.
Right.
So that could be part of the plan.
In Deuteronomy 26, it's probably, I know that's after that, God surely would have told Noah the same thing. You shall bring from your land that the Lord your God has given you and put it in a basket to go to the place where the Lord your God chooses to make his name abide. You take some of the first of all produce of the ground that you shall bring.
Right.
So maybe he told Noah the same.
Yeah, that's something that is not recorded here, but you know that we are under the Noah is a patriarch, head of the family, and God instructed the heads of the family on what to do and what to worship. Kind of like Cain and Abel. We don't have all the instructions that they were given, but God had given Abraham, no, he'd given Adam instructions, and evidently the instruction was to offer an animal, and Cain, for whatever reason, maybe pride or whatever, well, I'm growing this whatever crop you want to take out, and I'm going to go. That ought to be good enough for God, see, but it wasn't. Because it wasn't what God required, wasn't what God asked him to do. But here we have evidently he looks at his father, and then evidently this is not supposed to happen. Even though it would look to us from the outside like Noah was the offending party because he got drunk and naked and passed out or whatever you want to say. But evidently there was a rule or a standard that you wasn't supposed to see your parents naked, and so and evidently he made fun of her. He went and told. Besides that, look what happened. Look what the old man's in there. You know, I'm paraphrasing that part, but anyway, you know, he's in there and he's passed out.
Further, it says that he went in his tent. Maybe they had separate tents.
Yeah, they evidently had separate tents. Yes.
Right, and Ham,
So
Ham shouldn't have went in his father's tent.
yeah. See, yeah, he probably wasn't supposed to be in there. You know. But, yes.
Love covers a sin, you know, see something that we talk about.
Okay.
And the two other brothers did it to cover it.
Yeah. Okay.
So to me, that's not
Yeah, he's broadcasting. He's broadcasting by sin. Okay. I can see that. Any other? Yes, Leland.
Another thing that I find interesting, you know, and I was growing up, members of the church would always preach against alcohol and whatnot, and it always stressed that, you know, the wine today is more potent than it used to be. You know, all the distillers and whatnot have increased their alcohol content. And the old wine wasn't that way. But here we have Noah way back there. And he's got his vineyard, and he grows him some grapes, he makes him some wine, and he's passed out drunk.
What do they accuse the apostles of when on the day of Pentecost, whenever you're drunk with new wine? So yes, their wine was stout enough to get drunk if you drank it straight. Most from what little bit I can gather, most occasions they watered it down, mixed it with water to sterilize the water. You know, that's the reason Paul tells Timothy to take a little wine for his stomach's sake, because one deal I read that the area he was in, the water was alkaline, it was hard on your stomach, and so if you put a little wine in there, it would neutralize it and make it safer to drink. Because most of the water in that day and time, unless you was way out from, if you live in town especially, it wasn't safe to drink because of the lack of sanitation and what have you that we have today. In fact, one deal I read about the Old West said it was probably safer to drink beer than it was to drink water because if you was in town, because the water would probably be contaminated with something, and if it didn't kill you, at least it'd make you sick. But the beer had been distilled and whatever enough that it wouldn't, it probably wouldn't kill you.
A lot of out.
Huh?
A lot of out.
Yeah. But the scripture says not to look on the wine when it's red and what have you. And I believe Brother Tim Smith said the scripture doesn't expressly say that it's wrong to drink, but it says it's wrong to be drunk. And as far as he was concerned, the only safe way to not get drunk was just don't drink it. And that's the way with a lot. Some people can't once they start, they can't quit. Yes, sir.
Matter of fact, long ago, that's what they used for the Lord's Supper.
Yes.
That's all they had. Alcohol wine. That's all
Yeah.
they had to keep it.
Well, the enzymes in wine aids in digestion, so it probably had a deal with most of it.
Yeah.
Everything.
Uh-huh.
People continue to drink it afterward, that's the problem.
Yeah. Keep on drinking. And like I say, some people, once they get started, they can't quit, and it turns into lots of problems. So it's best to just leave it. My opinion, just leave it alone.
In First Timothy, like you said, it says a little wine.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
So people, like you said, they don't go in.
Yeah. Well, some people, their genetics are in such a way that they just grabbed hold of them, and it's just really tough for them to stop. You know.
I've been there, I know that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes. Yeah. And we can all get addicted to a lot of, we're picking on wine, but you can get addicted to everything, You see how grumpy this whole bunch of beef, you throw away all the coffee, I'm sure not everybody's a coffee drinker, but I figure most of us are. Or a lot of us are. Just ask Becky if I gotta go get a blood test and they say you can't drink any coffee that morning. I'm pretty cranky, though. And I only drink coffee in the morning. I'm not like Bob. I don't drink it all day. I just drink it in the morning. I'm gonna pick old Bob now.
That's on the way Air Force survived from the top.
Alright.
That's on the way Air Force never survived from the top.
Okay.
Back to Noah and the seed, it might not really apply, but back in 6:21, it said he was to take of all food that is eaten and gather it for yourself, and it should be food, feed for you and for them, those animals that it just described too. So if he's taking feed and seed for the animals,
Okay.
maybe he also had it for other purposes.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not sure what, God had a plan for all of this, but when the ark came to rest and he sent the dove out, when it finally came back, it came back with an olive leaf.
Yeah, it
in its
didn't
mouth,
kill
so
all the
every
trees.
plant wasn't dead.
Yeah, it didn't kill all the trees, did it?
No, because that's how he knew it was time for them to come out of the ark.
But Leland's got a point. You got if you build, let's say you build a new pond, and there's trees and the water gets up high enough that it covers just the roots continually on that tree will die.
Well, yeah, but,
Yeah.
if we don't know, God we know he made some kind of provision because
Yeah.
he found that bird found a living plant to bring back.
Yeah, that bird found an olive branch, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, God didn't tell us everything that we.
Well, man wasn't everywhere on the earth at that time. They were in pretty much one general area.
Okay, but it says it covered all the earth,
Yeah, sure it did.
even the high hills. It said. But anyway, our time is about up according to that clock up there. I think that clock may be fast, but anyway.